Hi, and welcome to Lippy Presents Ghost News Network. Today is our question of the week. Julia, what do you got for us?
So you two have been in the field for a long time.
A little bit.
And now you have 3 new investigators sitting in front of you. So if you were going to share one piece of advice that you've learned over the years, what would you share with us new investigators?
Good question. Number one, realize what you're doing. Okay. People don't realize and think paranormal investigating is so dangerous. It's a very dangerous field. Very dangerous.
Not to scare you guys, but...
Not to scare anybody, and that's anybody that is looking to get into this field. It is a dangerous field. You're walking into places you don't know. And I'm not talking about the mystery and the legends we deal with. We don't know some of the places we go to. I can tell you, we're good. Some other places, new places that we get, we don't know. But a lot of it's house investigations. What the client writes down on that paper, you don't know. You never know. It could be full-blown demonic haunting, and we may not even know it until you walk in. And that will stick with you. Just because you leave that residence doesn't mean that you're saying goodbye to it and it stays there. You can sit there and be like, don't follow me home. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter. That's what you have to realize what you're doing. When you're doing an EVP session, it's very similar to playing with the Ouija board. Yes, your hands are not on a planchette, you're not asking something to enter into your body, but you're asking questions. Who are you asking them to? That's the question. You don't know. And whoever's there is there. And they might not come at you a week from now, they might not come at you at 3 weeks from now. It might not happen in 3 years from now. But 10 years, 15 years down the road, when you're married and have kids, that's when it's going to show its cards. And that's what you're getting into. Not to scare the shit out of you guys, but this is what it really is. Everyone thinks, oh, cool, we're going to go out and investigate. Yes, absolutely, it is cool. You're going to get the experience. But hopefully, out of all the years that hopefully you stick with us, you gain the knowledge and the strength on how to deal with stuff if it occurs. That's what we try to do here.
And I can speak to experience from that.
Absolutely.
When I first started doing investigating way back in 2005, I did a house case that we just thought was a regular run-of-the-mill house case. Turned out to be something totally different. Ended up turning out to be a demonic haunt. We had shit get knocked over, we had things fly across the room, we had a couch lift up off the ground, and we bolted out of there as quickly as we could. And I had an experience that I'll never forget, and I don't really talk about it too much, as Mike's actually gotten me to talk about it more than I usually care to talk about it. But it changed me, and it shook me for a long time. I didn't go on an investigation for a long time after that. But I think it ultimately made me a stronger investigator because I had dealt with this situation. But yeah, you never know what you're getting into. We've gone to clients' houses that we thought were, you know, regular fine investigations based on what their activity was on their questionnaire, and then we go in and it turns out to be something completely different. And we do 3 or 4 investigations there and it only gets worse. And then we've had the opposite, where they say, oh my God, everything's happening here, and you go in and nothing's happening. It's quiet. So you never know. But my piece of advice to give you guys is research. Research, research, research. You're only as good as what you study. You know, you gain the experience you're going to gain, regardless of what you choose to learn outside of us. You're going to gain experience. We're going to teach you how to walk into an investigation. We're going to teach you how to approach situations. You're going to learn that from us. But doing the research, gaining the knowledge, and making yourself more aware of what you could potentially be walking into or learning how to case a residence. I've been on cases. And Shannon aside, I am not psychic, despite what she tells me. I just think I've been doing this long enough that I can feel a room.
Right.
It's just experience.
Right.
We did a house case. I walked into the house. What was the first thing I said to you? I don't like this place. Mm-hmm. Something happened behind that door. Found out a woman took sleeping pills, hung herself in that thing. I could just feel it as soon as I walked in. Not psychic, it's just experience. That's what I tell everybody. And you'll gain that experience the more you're exposed to just going out and investigating.
It's almost like instinct.
And it
Like
is. It becomes. It's exactly what it is. And maybe it is a form of psychic ability. Maybe we're tapping into something, and that's what gives us that.
Right.
But I call it experience. I've been doing it long enough. I can walk into a room and tell something's either going to happen or something's not going to happen before I'm even. As soon as I get in there, I know if I'm going to have a personal experience or not. Usually, but that's just experience. And you always keep that open mind. But research. Research everything. Research the equipment. Research the theories. Research. Because having experience is great, but you need that knowledge to back up that experience. Otherwise, you're just an urban explorer.
With going on to there's a lot of new people that are getting into the field, and people starting their own groups that have zero experience, and realize the role that you're taking as a group leader. Yes, we meet up here Thursday nights. You guys go home. Awesome. We see each other next week. But what if something happens? You go home. We had a crazy investigation the night before, and holy shit, 3 days later, and you're still not sleeping. You're having night terrors, and you're getting woken up 3 o'clock in the morning every fucking night. You can't sleep. Who do you go to? Me. My phone is on 24/7 for you guys, 100%, because that's a responsibility that I take. And yes, I've dealt with that. When we were doing demonology research in here, when we first started it, I had an investigator diving into it.
Real hard. She was going in so hard. It
got real fast for her. And I got the phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to coach her through it. And this is what we do. We've had investigators walk into a location, especially if you're sensitive, and just start breaking down. You have to be there for that person.
Yeah.
That's the role that you take when you want to run a team. That's what it is. And a lot of these people don't realize that, but that's it. That's the responsibility that me and Dimitri take. Every night that we go out, we know that something can happen, and we have 15 of you guys that we have to worry about. And make sure that, hey, you guys are at the proper mental state to go home after that. And if you're not, well, we're here for you to coach you through it. That's what it takes.
We did a case, and I remember after the case had happened, I think this was when we were at Sheep Pasture Park, and we all had that weird night.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew something was going to happen. I told you beforehand. I was like, something's going to happen. I need to shut down.
Absolutely.
Because I can, close off emotions like it's a switch. And everything got crazy, and I remember, I think Will texted me. He was like, yeah, I don't even know how I'm getting home. And we're just talking. What was it, half the night, Will? And we were just talking for a long time, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just you have to. Yeah, it's just part of the. You have crazy experiences like that, and for like he said, for us, it's just helping you guys walk through and cope and understand and deal with those things. So.
There was cases we had years ago, back in 2005, was one of the first big experiences at Mount Misery Site 1, where we got a voice over the walkie that said, "There are more of us here." And the girl in our group freaked out. She legitimately freaked out. We had to send her with the other team, and afterwards, we didn't just come back to the office that night. We went to a diner afterwards, unwind, talk about it, get your mind back to here on this level, and be like, listen, it's okay. It's nothing that was evil or anything like that. It was, these are the questions we're asking. We ask questions, we got a response. I said startling.
Some of the responses will shake you. Some of the responses will shake you because they'll happen in a way you just can't explain.
Roger's mansion, when Will and Tom were down in the basement. Hey, if you don't want us to be here, give us a sign. Boom! A light bulb explodes. That's a pretty startling experience. Yeah. I'm sure they went home that night. We're just like, did that really just happen? Holy shit. Yeah, Mount Misery Site 2. We got the voices come over for a minute and a half. We didn't go home after that. We went out, we talked about it, so, and sometimes, see if something major happens, and a lot of times we're like, holy shit, we need to chill. Even Lake George. Over there, remember that one night where everyone we called everyone went bye-bye. Everyone
lost everyone.
Was just in a different world. We literally stepped aside, and we had, 7 people with us?
Yeah, you and me were just watching them
in a
separated.
trance. Looking into the woods.
And I spent that whole night run into this group. Hey, you guys okay?
Yeah.
What do you need? You need this, blah, blah, blah. Now the next group, what's going on? You stay away from that person because I don't know why you're having violent tendencies towards him. So you stay over here.
We separated the group. We brought everyone back to the campsite. We had to monitor everyone, make sure everyone was cool. And the next morning, we had to make sure everyone was good. This is the roles you take on as a leader when you do this field, and you have to be ready for anything. Anything, and that's why we have a pretty diverse knowledge of all aspects of paranormal, because you never know.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. And a lot of people are like, well, I can't group. No, you can't. You think you can, you have no idea what it takes. You know, because that's what you have to do. The minute you don't put yourself out for your team, you don't have a team anymore.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. Be careful. But we're always on call. So,
Does any of you guys have advice you'd like to give us? Chill the fuck out, guys.
stop calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning!
Deal with your own demons.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Alright guys, what do you think of that question? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you haven't yet, give this video a like, share, and subscribe. You can also click that little notification bell to know when all of our content is being uploaded to YouTube. So thank you guys very much for joining us on this latest edition of Ghost News Network. And until next time, take care guys.